All right. Hello, everyone. I think we are live. I'm Brendan. I'm joined with Nathan, as always. Thanks for being here on this Mythwind live stream, August 27th. A lot of fun stuff has been happening in our world, and we're excited to share it. And hey, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to post I think either on Facebook or on YouTube here, and we'll try to get to those questions at the end. It's um, great to be joining you this morning. Okay, Nathan, how you doing?
Good. Yeah. Glad to be here.
That's great. Uh, Nathan, I talk about I pitch Mythwind enough. How about you give a recap pitch, putting you on the stop? If you're describing Mythwind to someone new, what is it?
I had a little practice doing that this morning, actually. It's in, in gamer terminology, an asymmetric town builder with no fixed ending. And to a non-gamer, I would say it's a game about building a town and improvement and just about living.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it is it's a 1 to 4 player cooperative game. It's kind of a key thing, and yeah, the asymmetrical builder. I like that. And then there's this added layer of each role is playing in a completely unique way. And I don't know if you mentioned I think the key features that it's an open-ended pick up and play game.
It's true. Yeah, the fact that you can save just about at any point, really, is pretty unique, and it doesn't have the high overhead that you would think might come from packing everything up in a fixed way. Like it'll be just nice and easy, boop boop, and then same thing when you pull it out.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So we have, a lot of fun stuff has been happening on our end. We got a bunch of files off to our manufacturer in China. They're going to print up the prototype for us, and we have a new launch date because there's a few things that ended up causing us to push back our September launch date, but our new launch date of October the 5th, and I'm just going to do a quick little Google, days till October 5th, 39 days until our Kickstarter goes live. Very excited about all of that. So what I want to kind of walk through today, maybe a couple different things. First, I kind of just want to do maybe something, I don't know, some of you might find it boring, others might not. I want to walk through our component list and all the different elements and, maybe some different thoughts in there. In previous episodes, if you haven't tuned in, feel free to catch up. We've talked about some of the central components, the town, the different character roles. We've mentioned and talked a little bit more in depth about the farmer and the crafter. We have two character roles that we haven't talked or revealed too much about, and this is the woodsman and the merchant, formerly known as the traitor, trader,
Trader.
trader. But often when we say or I say trader, it sounds like traitor. And so a merchant is a much better better word for that. So
There's no hidden trader in this game.
yeah, exactly. And so kind of want to walk through just some of like the components. Hey, what are you gonna get in a box in Mythwind? But before I do that, our graphic artist Lauren did up some really kind of fun mock-ups of a bunch of elements. So hey, if you're tuning in on podcast, sorry that you can't see this. Make sure you join either the Facebook group or the Discord channel, and you'll be able to kind of see these in there. But the first thing we want to look at, and I just have it showing here. I don't know if you can see this, Nathan, but it's our kind of town board. Uh, excuse me, our town board display. And so we have the big old. There's two dual layer boards, and they're roughly a foot by foot each. And these dual layer boards make up our kind of central play area. There's a couple like really unique elements to this, kind of like mainstay pieces. But there's a bunch of slots around the town for buildings to go into. There's an area in the upper left for the season tile. Season tile shows, there's different kind of weather interactions. Maybe Nathan can speak about that in a second. A season tile, and then we have a goal card area to kind of keep track of your current goal. On the far right is the uh, is the building queue, and we have a bottom area which is kind of the tower area where you get to recruit workers and sprites, and then we have in the bottom left, we have our kind of resource economy of your town, and then a couple other kind of areas. So kind of maybe Nathan, speak a little bit about the season tile and the weather card interaction. What's going on there?
Yeah, so there are 4 seasons, and we wanted to make use of the fact that every day you flip over a season card, and it gives you a kind of it gives you a weather for the day. And so as you're stacking those season cards, you do it in such a way that you can see the previous days. And so the season deck will let you know that if you have a sequence of weather, like say 3 sunny days in the summer, that would equal a drought. Or but if you have like maybe a sunny day, cloudy day, and rainy day, maybe that's a particularly productive time, that kind of a thing. And so because every season is different, that interaction changes a little bit with every season. Rain in the winter will be like snowy, kind of a thing, and in the spring it means maybe growth more so. So um, yeah, so the season cards are there to kind of measure time, but they also will interact with the season tile to create kind of another kind of unexpected effect that's going on. And because you can see the sequence, you might kind of get the first 2 parts of that sequence, and you kind of know to prepare for, like, if it's another rainy day and we're going to flood, maybe today we should prepare for that a little bit, just in case it's another rainy day tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's what we have 4 different seasons. So 2 season tiles that get rotated throughout. So it's a cool kind of added element in the game. This is still kind of a work in progress, as most Kickstarter prototypes are, and there's a handful of things that are missing or maybe not shown here. Some of those would be our resource tokens. Uh, and there's more dice. There's between 12 and 16 dice that will be in the core box as well. So it's really neat. We love this. I think this is going to be a great centerpiece for the board. Nathan, I don't know if you can see what I'm showing here. Um, are you blind to this?
I can see the downboard.
Okay, you're following the stream. Okay, so we are. Um, I pulled up a different image of a handful of different kind of mock-ups, and I have it nice and zoomed in here. And so we're just going to kind of like rotate through some of these graphics that Lauren did up. Really nothing crazy to be seen. You notice in the weather cards, this is what Nathan was talking about how the different weather cards, there's these strips and they stack on top of each other, and so it's going to be like a real neat. You can kind of see the effects of the weather, and it interacts with the seasons and with each player's differently. Kind of different perspective of the board. One thing that we're not showing yet because we're still fine tuning are the different character trays and all the different elements of the character trays. And so what you're seeing now is just kind of the central player. You're actually not seeing the character trays themselves, which is a pretty, I would say, it was like really significant element of the game, and we're excited with the design direction.
That adds like a whole extra storage component, but also it in some cases will double as like a spot to interact with. So even straight out of storage, you're actually using that spot to play with as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So here we have 2 images on the screen. On the left, we have our goal cards, and on the right, we have our building tiles. Nathan, maybe speak a little bit about the characteristics of the building tiles.
Sure, yeah. So that's a very significant part of the game because when you start, your town is basically a blank slate, and you have your limited number of. Really, at that point, you just have 4 actions available to you, and then as you get these buildings out, you can use the buildings. So the more you build, the more actions you're creating for yourself because a lot of these buildings are ones you can visit and accomplish a thing. So every time you want to build, there will be a cost to them on the back of the tile, and it'll tell you if you need to have another building already built in order to do it. There's sort of a tech tree, for lack of a better term, in order to build some of these buildings. And then they're going to go into a queue, which will take time to construct the buildings. It doesn't happen instantaneously. And those weather cards we talked about will tell you when you've made good productivity on those buildings, and then it'll push it along the queue until finally it comes out and the building is complete, it's ready for use. And then the building will either be something that's an active spot for you to go do an action, or it'll be a passive building that'll just have some kind of ongoing positive effect for you.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's great. There's a lot of buildings. We're excited how they look. We're excited how they kind of open up gameplay. Johnny McNabb on Facebook is asking if the player trays are dual layered or plastic trays. So the player trays are a combination of game trays designed plastic tray and a single layer piece of cardboard that kind of snaps into place in a couple different areas. So you know what? Just because I am feeling generous, nobody likes me. Nobody likes me sharing these things, but I'm gonna give you guys a little early sneak peek at what we're making. So this is the farmer tray, and like I said, hey, early. Um, what we have here is a couple things, and actually I have better. Do I have a better one? No, it's fine. So everything in blue is the plastic. This is just kind of a basic picture, and then these areas are your kind of graphic insert that's kind of slot on. So we have a couple things going on. We have this area on the left that is like a universal action area. It's going to be the same shape for each character, and it kind of gives you your kind of player actions depending on what you do in town. And then you can actually lift this up. There's some storage underneath, and then we have our unique skill areas that kind of correspond to the different actions. And then we also have areas for dice here, along with your unused dice tray at the bottom. And so that's it's funny, Nathan. Your screen keeps on going big and small, so you're peeking out of the corner here. Um, and so we have that's kind of what's going on there. And then at the top we have something that's going to have some more information, and then there's a couple of tray areas below there. And on the right hand side, at least of the farmer tray, this is unique for every character. But on the right hand side, we have the area where the polyomino pieces go, and so it's pretty neat, really really cool. This is a very rough. I'm going to stop showing it because it's a very rough um, version of what we're doing, but it's exciting. Um, all right, so Johnny, that's your sneak peek. Uh, we also have these goal cards each season. You get to work through a different goal card. There's kind of success or failure option to happen with the goals. Basically, at the beginning of each season, you get to draw a couple goal cards and you get to choose which one you want to complete. And then as you complete a goal card, you actually open up more. So it's kind of like these threads of goal cards with escalating difficulties um, and some fun rewards. Okay, I'm gonna just scroll a little bit. We have our event cards, which we've shown quite a bit. A lot of fun stuff's happening there. All of our sprites. Love the sprites. adventure cards. So this is just a lot of fun mock-ups. Okay, gonna close out of that. And Nathan, oh your your face is again strange. I think it's an
My face is strange.
yeah, I think it's an OBS thing. I'm just gonna, oh, now you're covering up my stuff. That's okay. All you people on podcasts are like wondering what's going on here. So, yeah, that's a lot of kind of the the different elements of what's going on um, with our components. Okay, what did I say we were going to do? I said we were going to walk through our component list. Hey,
Hmm.
if anyone out there knows OBS and knows why my Skype input keeps on changing for Nathan, I would love to know. Otherwise, it's okay. All right, I'm going to,
I'm okay being a glitch.
yeah, it just kind of goes in and out, so I'm not gonna bother with it anymore. All right, we have I'm debating whether or not I want to go through all this. Um, you know what? I'm gonna save this because I think I want to kind of spend some time and talk about it in detail. And so there's just a lot of kind of potential and different things to kind of hash out with that. Nathan, what are you currently working on right now with Mythwind?
My main focus right now is the Woodsman role, which of course is one of the newer, not newer, but we've our focus so far has been on the farmer and the crafter, getting those really tight. The Woodsman again is a new mechanic, so I mean every role involves a lot of development because they're all different from each other, and so the focus with the Woodsman is going to be on being in town and then being away from town. So the farmer and the crafter are kind of always doing both. They're working in the shop or they're working on the farm, but they're also going to town. The woodsman's more of an either or kind of a thing. So they're in town and they're preparing to go be in the woods, go explore, go chop down wood or whatever it might be. And so without, I guess, revealing too much because it is in flux, really kind of focusing on creating kind of like a little deck for them to explore as they're gone. And there'll be a plan for how big of a deck you want it to be, how long of a trip it's going to be, and making sure you're well prepared for that. And and if you're not, there may be some consequences.
Yeah, so there's going to be a good sense of kind of pushing your luck of this risk versus reward. Can I survive another day out in the woods, gathering resources, or should I, head back to town and cash in what I have? So we want that to kind of be a push, and then, progression, like any survivalist, is that they'll, get better at what they do consistently over and over. And so that's yeah, really neat. One of the things we're discussing. Similarly to how Spirit Island has their different spirits, they give a difficulty rating to each of the spirits. We're looking at doing something similar to the different characters. Kind of having a 5-star difficulty rating because the polyomino, sorry, the farmer who uses kind of polyomino Tetris piece like mechanics, a little bit more straightforward than the crafter, right? And so we want to actually differentiate them. It doesn't change the difference of fun, but for people who are picking up the game or are interested in expansions or whatever it may be, we want players to kind of have a little bit of a, okay, this is a high cognitive load or high kind of onboarding at first, right? And just to give us the option and the design flexibility to be able to navigate that, I think is really neat.
And I think the woodsman will probably land sort of in between those two.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Uh, so it's great. You know what? So I think what we're gonna do actually, I'm gonna call it here, and going forward, we're probably going to be hitting up a live stream every week. So every Friday, I want to kind of be touching base, and we'll do a short, quick hello, because we have probably 5 live streams before we launch, and so I'm gonna be soliciting questions. We'll be showing more, our Kickstarter page once we get that going. We'll do different unboxings. We'll show the miniatures, all the different fun things that are happening with Mythwind. That's great. And I will try to fix Nathan's camera for next time. I'll spend some time Googling that. If you're on podcast, you don't really care, but everyone who's tuning in with YouTube, it's a big thing. All right, hey everyone, take care. Hope you have a great weekend, and looking forward to talking to you more about Mythwind, and make sure to tune in to everything that's going on in our Facebook group and our Discord channel. And